Under the watchful gaze of the full moon, shadows lengthen and twist, shrouding the dense forest in an eerie dance of light and darkness. Breaking the stillness of the night, a car pulls up to the secluded cabin, its occupants eager to escape into the woods. Sarah, Josh, Emily, and Mark emerge from the car, their laughter echoing through the trees as anticipation fills the air. Their excitement palpable, the teenagers gather their belongings, ready to immerse themselves in a weekend of freedom and adventure. With a final glance back at the car, Sarah, Josh, Emily, and Mark turn towards the cabin, their silhouettes disappearing into the shadowy depths of the forest. Inside the old cabin, dust and cobwebs shroud the teens as they cautiously venture into its forgotten depths. Sarah's focused gaze settles upon a forgotten corner, revealing an old, yellowed newspaper clipping. In the dim light, Sarah's voice barely breaks the silence as she reads, "Unsolved disappearances plagued the area decades ago." Her voice falters, the weight of the past pressing down on the present. Josh and Emily enter the still, dark lake, where faint moonlight dances on the water's surface. A sudden tension grips Josh as his eyes widen, a silent question forming on his lips. Josh whispers, "What was that?" Emily asks, "What's wrong?" Josh dismisses his unease. "I thought I felt something. Never mind, just my imagination." The lake remains silent and still, reflecting the faint moonlight, the darkness concealing its secrets. Inside the rustic cabin, teenagers gather around the fireplace, shadows dancing around them. The fire crackles, filling the comfortable silence as Mark leans forward, ready to spin his tale. Mark's voice drops to a near whisper. "Have you ever heard about the Shadow Strangler?" He continues, painting a chilling picture. "They say it haunts these woods, a dark figure that strangles its victims in the dead of night." The teenagers listen intently, their imaginations ignited by Mark's haunting words. Sarah awakens abruptly, startled by a strange sound from the darkness beyond the cabin walls. Moonlight paints the room in eerie shadows as she rises to investigate the source of the disturbance. Through the window, a shadowy figure lurks at the edge of the woods, its form indistinct and unsettling. Dismissing the figure as a trick of her imagination, a lingering feeling of unease settles over Sarah. Sunlight filters through the canopy as Josh strides confidently along the winding path, the scent of pine filling the air. He pauses abruptly, head cocked, a faint rustling from the undergrowth piercing the stillness. Josh glances around, a prickle of unease crawling up his spine, the forest suddenly feeling less welcoming. His pace quickens, the sound of his own breathing growing louder, a stark contrast to the once peaceful woods. Every shadow seems to lengthen, every snapping twig echoes like a footstep, amplifying his growing fear. Paranoia begins to set in, turning the familiar woods into a menacing labyrinth. The cabin glows warmly, casting long shadows that dance across the room, hinting at the unease within. Worry etches deeply into the faces of the hikers, their laughter silenced by Josh's sudden disappearance. A palpable anxiety fills the air as the hikers grapple with the chilling reality of their friend's absence. Driven by desperation, they begin to organize a search party, the gravity of the situation weighing heavily on their shoulders. Flashlights pierce the darkness as the group prepares to venture out, each step a testament to their fading hope. In the heart of the nightwoods, Sarah and Mark press forward, their flashlights the only defiance against the all-consuming darkness. A faint scream shatters the stillness, spurring them into a desperate race against time. "Josh!" Sarah echoes, her voice laced with urgency. "Where are you?" They arrive, only to be greeted by an empty clearing, the chilling silence amplifying their fear. Sarah and Mark return to the isolated cabin, their faces ghostly pale under the dim light. Exhaustion clings to them like a shroud as they approach the ominous doorway. At the door, the chilling sight of their worst fears solidifies before their eyes. Etched in blood on the door, a terrifying message, "You're next." The chilling message echoes in the silence, a haunting premonition of impending doom. In the dead of night, the cabin becomes a claustrophobic trap, their sanctuary turned into a stage for terror. In the dimly lit cabin, Emily is engrossed in a book, her figure framed by the soft glow of a bedside lamp. Suddenly, an unsettling scratching sound pierces the quiet, causing Emily's heart to pound. She slowly rises, her heart pounding in her chest, and cautiously approaches the window, her movements measured and tense. With trembling hands, she pulls back the curtains, revealing the darkness beyond. Emily gasps, her eyes widening in terror as the Shadow Strangler stares back at her from the darkness. The cabin stands in hushed silence, the dim light casting long shadows that dance with the night breeze. Inside the dimly lit cabin, Sarah and Mark stand frozen, their faces mirrors of shared terror. Emily's absence screams louder than any scream, her fate hanging heavy in the air. A trail of blood, a crimson serpent, slithers from the open doorway into the impenetrable woods. The chilling trail beckons them into the heart of darkness, promising answers shrouded in dread. The ominous woods stand silent, awaiting their next victim. Sarah and Mark venture into the black woods, following the crimson trail. They arrive at a clearing, the air heavy with dread. A chilling tableau. Emily's lifeless form sways gently from a tree. Sarah gasps, her hand flying to her mouth in horror. Mark's face is a mask of grim realization as he stares at the scene. Inside the isolated cabin, Sarah and Mark struggle against mounting terror, their faces etched with fear. With desperate strength, they frantically shove a heavy wooden table, creating a makeshift barricade against the door. Each strained breath is a testament to their struggle, as ominous sounds echo outside the cabin walls. The Shadow Strangler's relentless assault sends shivers of pure dread down their spines, amplifying the terror. The cabin door explodes inward, revealing the Shadow Strangler framed in the darkness, a silhouette of pure dread. Sarah and Mark leap to their feet, their faces mirroring the terror that has just invaded their sanctuary. A frantic chase ignites within the cabin's confines as Sarah and Mark weave desperately between obstacles. Mark is running, his breath ragged, through the confined space. The Shadow Strangler relentlessly stalks them, a predator closing in on its prey in the cramped quarters. Their hope dwindles with each breath, as they desperately seek an escape from the encroaching darkness. In the dimly lit cabin, Sarah confronts the Shadow Strangler, the air dense with chilling anticipation. With a sudden move, Sarah tears away the mask, revealing the cabin's caretaker beneath. The caretaker's eyes are hollow, reflecting a haunting sorrow born of profound loss. Driven mad by grief, the caretaker whispers, "They never left, they're always here with me." Dawn breaks over the woods, painting the dilapidated cabin in a fragile light. Sarah emerges, her body trembling, haunted by unseen horrors. She casts a fearful glance back at the cabin, a silent question hanging in the air. A shadowy figure stands motionless in the window, watching her every move. The figure dissolves into the morning mist, leaving only doubt and lingering trauma.